It's Tuesday night in New York City. Amelia, what time is it?
Blunt Talk Radio Day.
It's time for Blunt Talk Radio. Hello, everybody. I'm the Mad Dog. She's the Pit Bull. This is What's the Buzz. And tonight, a special episode of Blunt Talk Radio. But for our friends on the West Coast, it's 4 o'clock in Los Angeles. For our friends in the middle of the country, it's 6 o'clock in Chicago. And here in the Big Apple, it's 7 p.m. Hello, everybody. Once again, welcome to Blunt Talk Radio on What's the Buzz Podcast. It's America's podcast.
Yes.
And so let's tell everybody. Tonight we planned. Well, sometimes things don't go as planned, Amelia.
No, they don't.
Well, we planned to bring you part 2 of Bohemian Grove.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like, how much can we really do? Bohemian Grove has been done to the nauseum. It's been done how much can I add to it?
And then I think it was just too much for people, or too much just information.
No, you're right. No, that's it right there. It's a lot. It's too much.
Yeah.
It's too much. We have, hey, Leon's here. Leon Barfield. Hello there.
Hello.
How you doing, Leon? I love Leon. Leon's one of our guys from the wrestling world. Came back to see us here. We got a good one for you tonight, Leon. Tonight we're going to talk about the strange and the bizarre and the weird here in America. It's kind of, America really is, if you think about it, kind of a strange place. Think about this, Amelia.
Yes.
If you're coming here from another country and you're used to a certain way of life, and you come here and you see some of the shit we do, it's no wonder foreigners shake their head and go, I'm going back home.
Right. And then you look at them, you're like, okay, why would you want to cover your face?
Exactly.
And
Like it's normal to us, the fucked up shit that goes on here. But it's gotten more fucked up and more bizarre and more strange. And we're going to talk about some of it tonight. And we're going to show you. We've got, Leon, you're going to love this, Leon, because we've got a record number of videos tonight. I've got 27 videos tonight.
And I want to apologize in advance for everyone. If you hear a lot of thunder and lightning, it is thunder and lightning here in Florida. So bear with us.
Yes. Amelia is going to get kicked right out of her studio.
So please bear with me. So
her and her son and the husband and the dogs and maybe a cat, a neighborhood cat.
There's a few out here, so poor thing.
Oh God, stray cats, right?
Yeah, I have a full bad for them.
We had an interesting night last night. Talking about the Bohemian Grove. People are very passionate when we bring them, subject matter. And I, believe it or not, folks, I really do hear it. I get emails. I really do.
It was very sensitive.
I honestly do get emails from people saying, can you cover this? Good show on that, and blah blah blah, and why did you do that? And how come you didn't do this? And everybody's a Monday morning quarterback, and just like, okay, well, coulda, shoulda, woulda, but I did what I did, and that's what I did.
Yeah, it was a very sensitive subject matter, but to me, I feel that people need to know what's going on, even though they may already know what's going on, but I think they need to get more in depth.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you for saying that, because that's the critical aspect of this. We do what we do to bring people, even if you think there might be something you don't know about either Bohemian Grove or like tonight. I'm going to bring you stuff tonight that you're going to shake your head at. And you're going to wonder, like, really? I never knew that. I should have named tonight's show. Are you fucking kidding me?
Right.
That's what I should have called it. I almost called it that.
Right.
But I didn't want to get in trouble.
Because, see, the Bohemian Grove, I kind of knew a little bit, not that much. I knew that there was some men, with men, but I did not know anything about the sacrifices that was going on until you showed me. And I was like, oh my God, you have to be fucking kidding me. about that, and I didn't know it
Ooh.
was young babies or young boys or men, or
Oh,
animals. I did not know that till you brought it to my attention. See, I would not have known until you brought the show to me.
well, let me tell you what I found out last night. And I didn't know this. I did not know this until after the show was over. As what I watched a little further
Oh my.
in some of the video I have.
Uh-oh.
And yeah, was right, because I found out something. Aleister Crowley, who greatly influenced the Beatles, and particularly Paul McCartney. Aleister Crowley was a magician. He was a Satanist. Wow, that's weird. I
Yes.
just said Aleister Crowley and my ears shut for a minute.
It thundered here when you said that.
Wow, is that nuts? Holy shit. The spirits are on, they're out there, man. The spirits are out there.
So.
But so what happened was I was watching this clip, and Aleister Crowley, who, again, as I said, at the risk of repeating myself, that he influenced the Beatles and their music and, you know, a lot of stuff about their lives, particularly Paul. Aleister Crowley said the most perfect sacrifice is a young boy between the ages of 5 and 12.
What?
This is the kind of shit we're talking about that goes on at Bohemian Grove.
What,
Okay?
because of their innocence? Is that why?
The innocence and purity. Here's the thing about children, and this is true, and I can't deny this because I know this to be true myself. Children are completely pure. They have pure strength, pure vision, pure virtue.
Correct.
It's everything is pure on a child, which means power.
Yes.
Unharnessed power. You know?
Exactly.
Like, who would have thought that a little baby in its innocence, you know, could fuel a Fortune 500 company? But they do through sacrifice. You know how many bodies they found in Northern California, dead, burned, buried? You know, it's just, and that's just California. That's not to mention all the other states and countries. England, listen to this one. Leon, you're going to love this one. England has the single largest satanic coven in the world. Can't make it up.
I would believe it. I would actually believe that.
Can't make it up. You have a wicked. Oh, there you go. Leon, are you a Wiccan? Now, I like Wicca. I'm going to tell you why I like Wicca.
He is telling the truth, though. If you have a Wiccan to back you up, you are protected.
Well, here's the thing about Wicca, and I know a lot about Wicca. One of my best friends is a Wiccan. Thank you, Leon. He says yes, he's a Wiccan. Beautiful. Here's the thing. I know a lot about Wicca because I've done extensive research into philosophies and religions, and you know that's kind of what I do. Okay. And what I love about Wicca is that it's earth-based. Earth, wind, fire, air, the elements of the universe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's 28 years, really, Leon?
I'm studying it, yes.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Really? No shit. How about that?
I even have a bracelet that says that on there.
Really?
Yes.
When were you going to tell me this stuff?
I was just starting to study it, so maybe we could do a show on it.
We can do a show anytime you want. I know an awful lot about.
Well, that was, remember how we were talking about doing shows? I was going to bring that to your attention.
Oh, yeah. Well, now you tell me while we're on the air. This is the kind of stuff she does, folks. This is the kind of shit she does.
Full of surprises, you know.
Surprise. Oh, speaking of surprises, we got some surprises coming up on this show.
And maybe we could get Leon on our show for Wiccan.
I'd love to have Leon come on. You know what? I would love to have, you know what it is? It's funny because you very rarely see a male Wiccan.
Yes, you do. It's very, very rare.
Most Wiccans that I've known are female.
Yes.
I know a woman, and I'll mention her name. Her name's Liz Pressman. She's the librarian for the New York Post.
Hmm.
That's a
Yes.
hell of a position.
Yes.
Now, Liz Pressman's father was a reporter. He was the first reporter to interview Elvis Presley when he came back from the army. The other thing that he did, he was the only reporter allowed at Woodstock.
Wow.
And he hung out at Woodstock in the mud and in the rain with all the hippies. So her father, Liz Pressman, is a Wiccan.
Yeah. And
And
a friend
she
of
is
mine,
a
Pearl. Hmm.
calls herself a what do you like a goddess,
Yes.
a Wiccan goddess. She's like a whatever that I don't know what the
There's
goddess is.
goddesses.
But
Yes, they call themselves.
I know the religion of Wicca,
Yeah,
but
and
she's a goddess, and I hesitate. I hesitate using words like goddess because I believe in one God, so I'm a little funny like that.
well, it's like the goddess of earth, wind, fire, water, spirit. Like that. That's what they have.
Captain, you know what? I did know about that cartoon, Leon. It's called Captain Planet. And it's a Wiccan based cartoon, and he's absolutely right about that. And I know a little bit about that. What
Yes.
else we got?
The priestess and
Priestess, that's what
yes.
they're called.
Hmm.
They're called priestess. That's it.
Yes. And
What did I say? Goddess? I said goddess.
goddess is good. And we have my friend Pearl. That's where I learned a lot of stuff. That's where I go get like my teas, like fresh teas, from
Right.
that, and I get my incense and things like that. And that's how I met a lot of my friends, from that store that I go to here in Florida. And they just welcome me with open arms. They're the nicest people you've ever want to meet.
Oh, I know. I've met many of them. I know a lot of them.
And I felt like I was a part of them, and they've always treated me so
Yeah.
kindly. And they said,
Well,
"You're a part
we're
of
gonna
us."
do that. Leon, let me ask you a question because I know you're here. If I were to bring you on this show, would you come on? You don't have to be on camera if you don't want. I can hide your face, but if you want to do that, would you come on with me? Think about it.
Yeah.
And let's see what he says.
Oh, he said yes.
Good. He said yes. That's beautiful. Thanks, Leon.
And
I'd love to have you on here. You know what? Why don't we do that?
Yeah.
After the show, Leon, after the show, Amelia's going to reach out to you. And so give her your info and she'll pass it along to me.
Yes, absolutely.
We go through chains over here.
Mm-hmm.
I got to go through chain of command.
And yeah, and then we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
Yeah.
speaking about the weird and unusual and things like that, you would, like you were saying, you would think that it just happens in the United States, but it actually happens all over the world. Not
Oh
just
yeah,
here
we're
in the
going to
United States.
actually, I'm glad you said that because we're going to talk about something that you're going to see a couple things tonight that don't just apply to this country, but that apply to other countries around the world. Here's what I'll say about this. I'm very careful in what I show. I go through a lot of time picking out the right clips to show our audience, knowing that the people on radio can't see them, but they can hear them. They can follow along. And they can only imagine. And that's part of the greatness of radio. You don't have to see it to see it.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So with that in mind, Amelia and I are going to take you on a kind of a little show and tell. The whole show is going to be a show and tell tonight.
Absolutely.
The weird, the strange, the bizarre, life in the U.S. So here's the first clip. Now, check this out.
Da Vinci was commissioned to paint a painting of Christ and the 12 disciples. This was 1482, 10 years before Columbus set sail, because that painting would be the greatest weapon used in colonialism, and still is right now, because many black people around the world still have that original Last Supper. And so when Leonardo was asked to paint that picture, he got his uncle to actually sit in, and this is an historic record. He got his uncle to sit in and pose as Christ. He got 12 criminals from a local jail who happened to be available to sit in as the 12 disciples.
What?
And guess what? He's
Cool.
absolutely correct. Every word that man just said is absolutely historically correct, and we've got the documentation to back it up.
Wow.
Leonardo da Vinci called upon his uncle, who was a jailer. That's the thing that the man didn't mention. His uncle was a jailer. Okay. And he got these inmates, basically. So that's what they were. They're criminals. That's what they
Right.
to sit around and pose.
I wonder
And
what gave him that idea to put Mary Magdalene right there, and people haven't
well,
even
now
noticed
wait a
that yet.
minute. That's a very good point. You know, I had that. She's telling you that, folks, because she knows what I did last week at church.
Yes.
So what I did last week, because she watched church. That's what she does. That's the only time Amelia goes to church is when she watches it.
I went to church when I was a little girl.
Well, you listen. It's good that you listen to Pastor Dave and Pastor Steve.
I
That's
listened
good.
to Pastor Steve.
Here's the thing, though, that I brought up last week, and I did bring it up, that the Catholic Church, let me say this,
Yes.
the Catholic Church wants people to believe that it's John the Divine sitting next to Jesus on the right hand. It is not. It's clearly a woman. And it's clearly Mary Magdalene. And we know that because Jesus and Mary hate to burst your bubble, church. Hate to burst your bubble. But Mary and Jesus had a relationship. They did. It happened then. They knew it. Everybody else knew it. You know, he was a human. And if Jesus was human, then guess what? He was going to experience human feelings and human emotions, like being with a woman and having relationships. That's the deal. If you don't like it, you don't have to, but it's the truth, and you can't change the truth, okay?
Correct.
Much as you want to. Here's the thing. Listen to the rest of what this guy says. I think that's it. Was that it?
When the cover is taken
The reason
from
you call God by that name is because your former enslaver, your former oppressor, taught you that name. He never taught you the real name. He never gave you the keys to the power.
Did you know that Eminem?
Oh, yeah. Wait a minute. Okay, let me ask you.
yes.
Did you know that Eminem died?
No, I did not know that. I heard rumors about that, but I did not know that he died for real.
Okay. Let me lay this crazy shit on you. Leon, you're going to love this one. Yes, Mary Magdalene. Thank you, Leon. You're absolutely right. She was Mrs. Jesus. And that's what people don't, the church don't want to talk about that. Because we did a show. Leon, I actually did a show 5 years ago. Jesus and Mary were married. I did that show. And I want to tell you something, my brother. They wanted to hang me by the cojones, okay? They wanted to boil my nuts in oil. All right? Guess what? I'm still here telling the same story.
We did that show.
And
we'll do it again.
We did that show again. Yes, we did. And I'll never back down from that. Ever.
Yep.
Never. So, here's what they're saying about Eminem. And I love these conspiracy people because, you know, everybody knows Amelia and I love a good conspiracy.
Yes,
Really
we do.
Really, really do. But this one is kind of like, just wait till you hear what he says. I'm going to set it up. Here you go.
Died in 2006 after a car crash. He was very.
Now, look at these two people. They're trying to say these are two different people. Now, I don't know if they are. To me, it looks like the same person with different hair. That's all I see.
Yeah, it looks like a different hairline, but the guy with the darker hair looks like his face is a lot larger.
He looks a little older. That's all I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, because I
But I
think the
can
older you
I
get,
can I can explain that. I can attribute that to the age of the pitcher. One pitcher might be younger, the other pitcher might be older.
and it could be wearing contact lenses too.
Well, not only that, but let's be honest about it. People don't say that nobody stays the same age, folks.
No,
You don't stay. How old was Eminem? Was what, 25, 26?
something real young. Yeah,
Right, it was a young guy. You don't stay 25 your whole life.
was it in the 27 Club thing also? I think with one of the
No, Eminem's not in the 27 Club. No,
Mhm.
no, that's a whole nother show.
Poorly cloned. I mean, why else would he have a beard?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
why
true.
else would he have a beard? Here you go.
And his
Now,
eyes
let me
are
ask you a
darker.
question. Is that the only that's the best argument you're going to make, is he was cloned because he has a beard?
And his eyes are
you-
darker. Come on, you could put contact lenses.
That's like saying that the Easter Bunny looks like Santa Claus and Santa grew a beard to disguise himself.
And he was skinny.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know if I believe all that bullshit.
No.
Did you know that
To drink each other's blood might mislead people, or like people are imagining.
You know who this woman is?
Yes, she was in one of the Transformer movies, Megan Fox.
Her name's Megan Fox. Yes, I had to find out who she was because I don't watch those kind of movies, and I don't really know. She's like a contemporary star, and I don't know anybody past 1985. Okay, and I don't really care about anybody past 1985 because they, first of all, they have no talent and they don't interest me, and they'll never be people like Frank Sinatra and Dean
No.
Martin and Angie Dickinson and people like that. That
Oh, yes.
crowd. Is
Linda
good.
Carter, remember her?
Oh yeah, Linda Carter with the Wonder Woman with the big
Yes.
titties. Yep, absolutely. Yep. But she was a model, before
Oh, I
she
love
became
Linda
Wonder
Carter.
Woman.
She was one of my favorites.
Yeah, she's my favorite too when I was young. So listen to what this chick is saying. Heads up, watch this.
very poorly cloned? I mean, why else would he have a beard? Did you know that
To drink each other's blood might mislead people, or like people are imagining us with like goblets and we're like Game of Thrones drinking each other's blood. It's just a few drops.
Oh, my goodness. Drinking each other's blood. It sounds like she was trying to tell people that she was into vampirism. I don't know, but the way things are, the celebrities are these days, I would imagine that would be something that celebrities would want you to believe that they are into these days, for example. And well,
Da Vinci was commissioned to paint a painting.
and for
What is
example,
going on here? Hold on, Amelia.
I
What is happening with our transmission here? What the
I'm
hell
not
is
sure,
going
but
on?
I was telling people that Megan Fox was telling people about the drinking the blood. I'm telling people that think that she's into vampirism. Probably that's probably what she was trying to tell people.
That's exactly what she was
Mhm.
telling, because she talks about it later in that interview.
Mhm. And I said,
Folks,
that's where it
I
stopped.
apologize, folks. I just bear with me for just a moment. Let me just clarify and tell people who are with us live.
Yes.
We have a serious thunderstorm
Mhm.
happening
too as
where
well?
Amelia is. And it's wreaking havoc with our equipment tonight. So just
I
bear
think
with
it's
us.
probably.
Bear
it-
with us just
yeah.
a little tiny little
Oh,
bit.
and just on a little side note, I want to tell everybody thank you so much for thinking about my dad and whoever sent me messages and text messages and calls. He actually got to go home today, and I just
Yeah.
my mom just called me. I'm pretty sure that was her telling me that they're home. So I
Oh,
want to tell everybody
wonderful.
thank you so much
That's
for everything.
fabulous. Let's take a look
Yes.
at this, Mel.
Only. It is used for a reason, and it is controlled where it's like, let's shed a few drops of blood and each drink it. He's much more haphazard and hectic and chaotic, where he's willing to just like cut his chest open with broken glass and be like, take my soul. Let me bleed on you.
But she's talking about vampirism. She's also talking about ritualism.
Yes.
Her boyfriend or her husband, whoever he is really into it. Like he cuts himself deep. So, and that's what she's talking about. She's not
Yes.
kidding.
No, she and they come to the award shows all dressed out weird, and from what I understand, I think they're not together anymore. I don't know if it was her decision or his decision.
I'm not real sure. I know
But
what you're talking about, Amelia. I know that they were and no longer are.
but
I
if it
think,
is good
quite
for her,
frankly, I think it might have been too much for her.
yes.
Let's continue.
It doesn't not happen, let me tell you. Maybe not exactly like that, but a version of that has happened many times.
Whoa.
I want you to watch.
Orlando Brown.
Okay.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
you'll notice I didn't say anything. Okay?
No.
I didn't say anything there. And I didn't say anything purposely. Tell everybody, Amelia, what you just saw.
I witnessed the runway models walking down a runway, and
First of all, what do you see in front of you? Tell everybody that don't leave anything out.
No.
I want you to tell everybody exactly in great detail
yes,
what you just saw and spare no time. Take
and
it all the time you want.
these ladies were walking down the runway model one of
Listen
the
now, folks, I'll tell you what's going on.
and
She's
she's
missing
wearing
it completely. Let me tell you what we're seeing here. We're looking at someone dressed like the Virgin Mary.
exactly,
Okay.
and then they
And
take
we're
her
looking at
dress out.
other people. Hold on, Amelia. I got this covered. We're looking at other people dressed like aliens. Okay. Now, don't ask me what the connection is between the Virgin Mary and aliens, because I don't get it. So, anyway, one of these gold covered aliens is walking the runway and she gives birth to a little
She removes her
tiny
dress
alien.
off, yeah, and then she gives birth, yeah,
And it's whatever this thing was, it actually stood up
and started walking.
and started walking. And then she picked it up and shoved it back in her stomach. Okay.
She picked it up real quick.
And
So,
people got, yes, and the people were freaked the fuck out watching this. Let's watch it again. Okay. So now it makes sense. Come on.
Orlando Brown, an American rapper.
All right.
it's like she wasn't supposed to have that removed from her and then give birth all of a sudden, and then she got freaked
Yeah.
out when it started
She
walking.
comes out dressed like the Virgin Mary. And they pull her costume off, and she's an alien underneath it. And she gives birth to a gold baby. Now, what this has to do with the Virgin Mary, I have no idea.
And aliens at the time, it doesn't make any sense.
But I will tell you, because I know what happened here, and I know where this is from. I did some research, and let me tell you what this was. This was a fashion show in Brazil. Brazil, you need to understand, Brazil is among the most occult-ridden societies on planet Earth. They practice witchcraft, Satanism, Santeria. They practice human sacrifice, animal sacrifice. That if you can do it, they're doing it in Brazil. It's one of the most anti-Christian societies on planet Earth. All right.
So
now,
that's why she picked up the baby so fast, so they would know that she gave birth to it. Could have
no,
been.
it's got nothing to do with it. It's
Oh.
a mockery of Christ, is what it is.
Oh, that's awful.
That's what. Why do you think she was dressed like the Virgin? That's
Like-
why.
Making fun of the
They're
Catholic Church.
mocking Jesus, is what they're doing.
Hmm.
Okay, they're mocking Jesus. Let's just call a spade a spade.
Oh my God, that's horrible.
Yeah. And so this is what we're talking about. You want to know what's wrong with the country? Look at what's wrong with the world. Okay, but by the way, that kind of shit's happening here too. Let's take a listen to this guy. This guy's a rapper. Check him out.
Expose the truth about the music industry and explains how these top A-list celebrities get famous.
I'll give you this. You can will.
Now, Amelia, I'm gonna need you to translate here. Because I don't understand street lingo, okay? So let's roll.
Willingly turn woman and have a bag, or you can do what I'm doing. You can willingly turn trans, or you can get in trouble and go to jail and get up, and they do it to you forcefully because you up and you didn't know what to do with your blessing. So out of those two ways, me sitting here in one piece is not easy. It's not easy at all. You have to be respectful. Like, can't be just like, oh yeah, you think I'm sitting here playing with people's lives and these wives and bro and kids. Yeah, what they did to me was up. So I have the right to say whatever I want to say because they never thought I'd be able to say it. Okay, but when it comes down to just this industry and how people are willingly turning trans, turning female rapper just to get the bag, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I will tell you.
From the
Okay, let's talk about that. Do you understand what the hell he's talking about?
Oh, it's like, they have to do what the music industry tells them. Either you turn trans to get the money, or you're not going to be famous pretty much at all.
That's
you have to
exactly
do what they
he
tell
said.
you to do.
You have to stop right there. That's exactly what he just said. All of that gibberish is exactly what Amelia just said in one sentence. Do what we say, turn trans, and you'll get the money. That's what he meant by the bag, because he's a guy who's having to be transsexual. I don't know what the fuck. How do you turn?
He has to do it either way, whatever they say.
First of all, and I'm going to say this. I'm going to get in trouble. I don't care, but it's what I believe. The transsexuals are a mockery to God. They are an aberration to God. They're an aberration to the human race. They belong in the circus with the rest of the freaks because they are freaky. You don't know who you're talking to. Are you male or female? God created two sexes, male and female. He didn't create he, she, or it. He created he and she.
Exactly, 100% correct.
He didn't create he, she. He created he or she. That's that. End of fucking story, okay? There's male and there's female. There's no choosing your gender. There's no transsexual. You're a female or you're a male. Pick one.
Exactly. And the schools are not allowed to tell children to pick one either.
Well, guess what? They are allowed and they're doing it.
They're not going to be allowed.
The government said they're allowed to. You can disagree with that like I do, but guess what? The law says they can.
I'm so glad my kids are not in school anymore.
I had that conversation with my wife today. I saw this thing. It said graduations. I said, aren't you glad that we're not doing this graduation stuff?
Oh,
anymore?
yes. Absolutely.
God.
We had that same conversation today, too.
So that ties into a show, Million, that we did about the music industry.
Yes, it does.
All right. So here's the thing. And I want people to understand this. I love music. I listen to all kinds of music. But I feel bad for African American performers, particularly young rappers, because they're being forced to create a persona that is not them. Tupac Shakur had to create the persona of a tough street thug. But guess what? He wasn't a tough street thug.
Not whatsoever.
He had a great life. His mother was a Black Panther. We know that. But she hadn't been a Black Panther for a very, very long time. All right? A long time. In the meantime, you got these record promoters, white guys, by the way, white guys making money off the brother's back, making money, telling these guys, oh, you need to create a street cred. Really?
Yes.
What about just making music because music is good? What about that? What about just making music because music is good?
Yeah.
Why do you have to be anything? Why do you have to be a character? Why can't you just perform?
It's like we
What
like your
happened to the
songs.
days when people just performed?
Right. What happened to the days where you could just go to a concert and just listen to wonderful music and clap and have fun and
Oh, yeah.
enjoy the
Oh,
evening?
sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, what happened to them days?
They're long gone. Never
Oh,
will
yeah.
happen again.
Speaking of long gone, take a look at this guy. Now, I thought this was a fucking joke, okay? But this guy's absolutely serious. Listen to this.
Very first day of the transition period from the consumer format to the creative society, each and every person will receive an unconditional basic income of at least $10,000 per month. Yes, you heard that right. $10,000 per month. Plus, all debts will be completely canceled. That's right. All debts will be canceled. And that's not all. There will be no more taxes for individuals or small and medium-sized businesses. Then we will have free education, free health care, and there will be no utility bills. Later on, if you need it, you will be provided at least 650 square feet of housing per person for free and as your private property.
Okay.
Okay, but I'm waiting for the but or however.
I have the answers to the but and however.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like a pretty good deal, don't it?
Yes, it does.
Every good deal, remember, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
It comes with the price, doesn't it?
Look at the price. There's 3 words there. That's the price. New World
Order.
Okay? That's the price. And by the way, the guy is reading directly from the New World. Hold on, Amelia. He's reading directly from the New World Order agenda. It's called Agenda 21. And that's what he's reading from. This stuff is all written down, folks. The only thing that hasn't happened is it's not etched in stone.
Yeah.
There's a good reason it's not. Because they don't know who's going to pay for it yet.
Yeah. But look at the first sentence.
Guess who controls that $10,000 a month? Sounds like a pretty sweet amount of money, right?
Exactly.
Guess who controls it? They do.
Yes. And look at the first sentence. You will own nothing. Nothing.
You'll own nothing and be happy about it.
But still, you'll own nothing.
At the end of the video, it says, you will be given 650 square feet of personal property. You know what that is? It's a prison cell.
Oh, yeah. I can believe it.
That's what it is.
You will be told what to do by them and forever. And then your children's children, if they decide something.
Well, you know, God's got other plans, though.
But the first sentence to give it up to everybody, you will own nothing.
That's the first. That's the most important thing. You'll own nothing.
Nothing. They do.
It
they
says
own
you'll
you.
own nothing and you'll be happy about it.
But they own you. That's what it should say.
That's
They
the
own
trade-off.
you.
Guess what? I will take being poor and happy over rich and miserable every day.
Exactly, because
I got my freedom despite what people say.
and
They
our
say
freedom.
you don't have any freedom. They say freedom's an illusion. You want to bet? Angelo DeCipio, the Mad Dog, is free, and I fucking challenge anybody to prove me wrong. Do it. Come on the show. Prove me wrong.
Yep.
I'm Cryer. I'm an attorney. And I've got some shocking news for you. It was shocking to me when I heard it. I didn't
This one's going to shock you. He ain't lying. Check this out.
believe it. You may not believe it when I tell you. But the fact is that the average American is not liable for any income taxes on his wages, salaries, and personal earnings. And that's a...
Did you hear what
What?
he just said? He said you're not liable for income taxes on your earnings or your wages. And guess what? He's right. He's absolutely right. There's no law anywhere. There's no law that says you have to pay taxes. That doesn't exist.
But if we don't, we'll get arrested, don't we?
The United States government is the most corrupt government on planet Earth since day one. Since day one.
Yes,
If the founding fathers knew what took place after they left this government to other people, they'd be rolling over in their graves right now. Because this country don't even look like it used to.
Nope, it does not.
But one thing is for sure. The United States government is stealing from its citizens and has for a very, very long time. Let us continue with Mr. Bill Cole. I think it's Bill Cole, his name is.
fact. I didn't believe it. I didn't buy it, and I spent the next 2 years trying to prove that it wasn't true. Instead, I learned that it absolutely was true. You've been taken for years when there is absolutely not one single law that says that you are liable for income taxes. There's not one single law that establishes a tax rate on you. There is not one single law or even regulation given the force of law that establishes what a standard exemption is with respect to you. Hello, I'm Tom Cryer.
Tom Cryer, his name is. I'm sorry, Tom Cryer. What do you think about that, Neil?
I think that's ridiculous because we should not even be paying taxes then. And we work hard for our money that we earn. We do.
Mm-hmm.
And we get shit back that we have to pay. And we should, people like me that work hard every single day shouldn't have to pay the taxes like that for people that don't pay nothing at all, that don't work, that are on Medicaid and food stamps and do shit.
Yeah.
That sit on their ass just to collect that crap.
Well, I'll tell you what, we will discuss this and more right after our break. We'll be right back.
Jess wanted to start a business when something surprising happened.
Today, I'm going to teach you how to crochet.
She started crocheting, like a lot. And her friends noticed.
Jess, you need to sell those.
So, she signed up for Shopify and started building her business.
Yes, I love that.
And after a lot of hard work, this happened.
Oh my gosh, I just made my first sale!
You see, every day, hundreds of businesses get their first sale on Shopify.
We got ding!
And the next could be you. So when you're ready to bring your idea to life
And become your own boss.
build it on Shopify.
Do you have sweaty balls or volleyball netty balls? It's time to make them ready balls. The Manscaped.com Lawnmower 3.0 will do the job and clean your knob with its patented no-nick head, so your head will function as desired. Enter promo code Wrestling Future for a generous 20% discount. That's enter Wrestling Future for a 20% discount. Manscaped.com and Wrestling with the Future, going balls to the walls with Manscaped.com and the Lawnmower 3.0. Your balls will thank you, and so will we. Welcome back to What's the Buzz Popcast. America's Popcast presents Blunt Talk Radio. You just heard before the break from attorney Tom Cryer, who says you don't have to pay taxes. What do you think about that, Megan?
I think, he's right. If we shouldn't have to pay, then we shouldn't have to pay. But you know what? We get arrested for it if we don't.
Well, let's talk about that. Who do you go to?
Well, let's see. The IRS is more corrupt than anybody, so who knows who we go to?
Oh, they're the worst.
Yeah, they are.
They're the fucking worst. The IRS,
Yes.
please. Ugh. Let's take a look.
Question is that you said Jesus Christ died for our sins. That happened some 2,000 years ago. Mankind has been in existence for thousands of years. Sins are not decreasing, they are increasing. Look in North America, look in South America, look in Asia, look in Africa. Sins, alcohol, drugs, rape, incest is increasing. Will we get another Jesus to come and die for our sins? Thank
Well, there's a question for you.
Right?
This is the kind of stuff that's going on in the country that people don't want to talk about.
No.
That's why we say this is the strange, the bizarre, the weird, life in the U.S. This is stuff. Yeah, it's strange, bizarre, and weird, but it's also much of it sadly and scary, and much of it is true.
It is because, I mean, what would you think? Back then, he died for the sins, and right now they are having, all this going on. People are saying, okay, why can't he die again for our sins that are going on? But he's already died once.
Well, that's the question.
Yeah.
What he's asking the guy,
Is
by
why
the
can't
way,
he do it again?
yeah, but the person, by the way, the person he's talking to
Mm.
is a preacher, the television preacher, famous guy too. I'm not gonna
No.
promote him though.
No, of course
But-
not. Yeah, those
Yeah, absolutely.
don't deserve it.
But what he's saying is absolutely true. In other words, how long do we have to wait for for shit to get fixed?
Exactly, because people have been, it's
Good
gotten worse.
people. Here's my problem. Good people are doing good work every day, and they're pushing the boundaries, and they're pushing and pushing and pushing, and nothing seems to get done. But yet, when evil happens, evil sweeps, and everybody loves evil, and people love to revel in it. Well,
Absolutely.
what kind of chance does good have over that?
It has a 0 chance more than anything. Because if you notice anything,
It's got no, it doesn't have a 0 chance. You're absolutely wrong, Amelia.
Mhm.
It has 1 chance.
1 chance.
Jesus
Yeah.
is the only chance it has.
Because if you notice that there's more talk about evil than there is about good, it should be
Absolutely.
it
Why?
should be the other way around.
Because evil is more appealing than good. Absolutely, it is.
you.
I'm a 35-year-old white man.
Okay. This has got to be the most bizarre story I've heard. I got this one right off the news. I pulled this right off the news. Okay. We're looking at a young African American guy, heavy set fella. He just said to everybody that he's a 35-year-old white man. This is the news story. This is right off the evening news.
Harrison, born Antoine Smalls, has transracial identity, identifying as Harrison Booth, a 35-year-old white man from Colorado.
And when did you know that you were a 35-year-old white man? Well, I've always felt different. I go to the store and movies and just be thinking to myself, like, why am I not getting the respect I deserve? And then it just hit me. I'm white and 35. I just miss Colorado sometimes. Here I pretend the buildings are the old San Juan mountain range, but, the job's just here.
And where do you work?
I'm a systems engineer for Coca-Cola.
Oh, okay.
That boy don't work. He go to school and that's it. One day he said, call me Harrison. I said, who's that? He said, me.
Do you believe that he is a white man?
I mean, he isn't. Shit, I'd love to wake up one day and say, hey, everybody, I'm Rihanna.
Yeah, lady. I mean, you're a pretty lady, but you ain't Rihanna. You get what she's saying, though.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
This kid
anybody would say
woke
that.
up one day and nobody knows how it. And here's the scary part: he ain't the first guy. He ain't the first guy this happened to. It's happened to thousands of people waking up and they're saying, I'm a 26-year-old ballet dancer named Fifi
From Spain or something that, you know,
Right,
something
yeah.
like that. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Now this guy, he's a young guy. He's a high school kid. He's in high school, but he woke up one day and said, "My name is Harrison, and I'm 35, and I'm from Colorado."
Wow, that's interesting.
And that's his mother. You're looking at his mother. Okay, she don't even look like she's 35.
No.
She look maybe she's like about 30ish, 32.
Right?
Which
Yeah.
means that he's got to be like 17, 18. But he's a big boy. Big kid. How do you explain that, Amelia?
It could be that maybe in a spiritual sense that when the real person passed away, maybe his soul got into his body.
Well,
That could be another.
that is one avenue that has been explored. But he says no. He identifies as this guy Harrison, and he knows what he does for a living. He's a Coca-Cola salesman. He's a systems analyst for Coca-Cola. Okay? That's what he says. That's his job. But he's in high school.
Correct.
How does he even know who this guy Harrison is? Did he look him up on the internet one day? Did he say, I feel different. I want to be somebody else. I want to be what? Let me see what it's like to be white one day.
Could be multiple
Or maybe it's
personalities as
just-
well.
Oh,
and
maybe it's just a young kid trying to fit in somewhere. What do you think?
Could be multiple personalities. It could be.
I don't
like
think it's that. No.
No,
no.
it could be like maybe him trying to fit in. It could be, like I said,
I
maybe
think-
a soul crossed.
I think what it is, and I'm going to stand on this. I think what it is, he's a guy who sees his friends around him as losers, and he doesn't want to be a loser. So, how do you not make yourself a loser? You turn yourself from black to white, and you say you're a 35-year-old systems analyst for Coca-Cola, and everybody knows you're a high school kid because they see you every day. That's what I think. Let's go on.
But I ain't.
I'm a 35-year-old.
What you're looking at here, I'm going to tell everybody what we're looking at here. You are looking at the largest dust cloud that's ever overtaken Sao Paulo, Brazil. Why? Because earlier that day, they had a parade praising Satan. That's not even bullshit.
Is it that same week that they had that show?
It was in that time frame, but not responsible for this. Earlier, what you're looking at earlier that day, it was sunny and beautiful, and they had a parade praising and glorifying the devil. Okay, it was called the March of the Dead. Okay, which is something they do in Brazil.
Oh my goodness!
They got first of all, they got a lot of weird customs down there. Okay. This happened later that day after the parade was over. This is God saying, really? You want to praise the devil, huh? You want to glorify the devil? I'll fix your little ass for you. This is what happened. I'll bring the whole
And it never sank. What? So the owner.
Oh yeah.
That is a lot. Oh my goodness, that's a huge sandstorm.
Listen to this one. You know the Titanic sank, right?
Yes.
No, it didn't.
What?
Listen.
JP Morgan actually had two boats. He had the Titanic and he had the Olympic. And the Olympic was a little bit older and a little bit more run down, and it was also in some accidents.
Okay.
So the theory is that JP Morgan sank the boat on purpose because he knew he would get a lot of money.
What?
He did it for the insurance money, right? But why sink the newly built Titanic when you could scratch off the paint, swap the names, and sink the Olympic instead?
You just painted the word Titanic over the Olympic?
It gets worse. Guess who was on that boat?
Who? I know there's a lot of people on the boat.
All of JP Morgan's business competitors.
What?
And not one of them made it out.
Oh my god.
But guess who wasn't on the boat?
Who?
JP Morgan.
Was he supposed to be?
He canceled minutes before it left.
Because he knew it was going to sink.
And there was a guy named James Fenton, right, who survived and worked on the boat. And on his deathbed, his last words were, "The Titanic never sank. It was the Olympic."
Wait, what?
And he said that if he said anything, something bad would happen to him.
So what you're trying to say is the movie Titanic's actually called the Olympic.
Exactly.
And he's absolutely right.
Wow.
And history won't tell you that. History won't tell you that. I know that to be true. I got friends in Liverpool, don't forget.
Right.
Okay? I'm a Beatles fan. That means I got friends in Liverpool.
Right.
Okay. What else is in Liverpool? The White Star Line, the company that owned the Titanic and the Olympic. Okay?
Correct.
There you go.
So they were having like all the cars, everything, the paintings, everything they were bringing here just went bye-bye too.
Well,
Right.
think about what happened.
Mm-hmm.
What did he just tell you?
Yeah, it was everything just sank like that. It was horrible, a horrible tragedy. A lot of people died.
Yeah.
And all his competitors, he did that on purpose.
Of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
He killed a lot of people for insurance money.
Wow.
Yeah. And the Titanic, guess what? Is still around today. It's still around today. And guess what it says?
What?
It says the Olympic on it.
But I bet you if you take the little plaque off, if you're allowed to even get near it.
If you can get near it, that's the question. Can you get near it?
No, probably not. It's heavily guarded and secure, and
You gonna fight to get near that thing. Take a look.
Titanic.
Hi, Jordan. My question is, what is the antidote towards toxic masculinity?
Amelia, you're a woman,
Mhm.
right? Last time I checked, you were a woman, right?
Correct.
Okay. You ever heard a woman use that term?
Why would you want to know about masculinity when you're a woman?
Well, it's not what she's asking.
Mhm.
What she's asking about toxic.
No,
masculinity.
that's what that's talk. That's like to kill someone, isn't it?
Well,
Toxic.
Nobody knows because she made it up.
Yeah, exactly. I would never heard that term before. No.
Watch. Just watch.
Titanic's actually called the Olympic.
Exactly. The Titanic.
Hi, Jordan. My question is, what is the antidote towards toxic masculinity?
What precisely, since we're going to pursue this, what precisely is toxic masculinity? As opposed to, say, toxic femininity or toxic humanity. What exactly are you asking me about?
I really want to know what you like, how you would describe toxic masculinity. Because
No, I want you to define what toxic masculinity constitutes. Since we're going to define things so carefully, let's do it.
All you need to do is we need to return.
She doesn't know what toxic masculinity is because it's something she heard and she wants to sound fucking smart, but she's a dipshit.
Right.
Why is she a dipshit? Because she goes to college and only fucking morons and dipshits go to college. Real people of intellect and brain and substance are here in the workplace. Okay? College is for fucking morons and people that want to be president. Go to fucking college. But if you want to be a part of the fabric of the glue that keeps society together, welcome here to this world. Because this is where we are. Watch this. Speaking of dipshits, watch this fucking transsexual woman try to get out of this one.
everybody back to their closets, lock the door, and throw away the key. What do you think of that?
Should you be more prejudiced?
It has nothing to do with being prejudiced. It's called
Yes, it is.
being what is right, what is good, and evil is evil. You live a very evil, wicked, and perverse lifestyle, and the evidence is before all the viewers.
And she don't want to hear it.
All the viewers are looking at you right now. Tens of millions of people are looking at you. All need to do is we need to return everybody back to their closets, lock the door, and throw away the key.
Exactly what he said. Yeah, exactly.
And that's why I have no respect for transsexuals. If you want attention, you got mine.
Right. And what the people listening to us, what the caption said is that he impregnated 2 women in the prison because he was a transgender, moved to a women's prison.
Oh, wait a minute. How about the douchebag that joined the women's swim team and ended up raping 2 of them? 3 of them.
Yeah. And that's why women are finally fighting. They're finally listening, that transgenders do not belong in women's swimming or women's sports. They're finally listening.
There's one problem, though, Amelia. The people making decisions are not women, they're men.
And they're allowing it.
And they're allowing it. Thank you. And know who they are? The United States Olympic Committee. That's who's allowing it.
My goodness.
And as long as they do, everything's going to be fucked up in the order that it is currently. You want to know why I have no respect for transsexuals? There you go. Because she's a douchebag. She doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about. But one guy who does know what he's talking about is right here. Listen to this man.
What's that? Because to me, they look like a giant sleeping giant. But there were no such thing as giants, right?
Do you see that, Amelia?
Yes.
What did it? That looked like a
foot, didn't it? Or a hand? Perhaps?
No, it's a whole body. What are you looking at?
No, the one before that. It looked like a hand.
The hand is after that.
Oh.
You're looking at...
Oh, that right there. Yeah, that looks like
that looks
body.
like a man laying down. That's a mountain.
Oh my, yeah. I can see the face, the head.
I can see
body,
everything.
The legs, and yes.
What he's trying to say, I'll cut to the chase for you.
The giant behind him.
Because I'm going to cut to the chase for you because I'm getting over this tonight. Here's what he's saying. He thinks that these were real people that died in place. Giants is what he's saying.
Yes.
That's calcified, petrified. That's what would happen to the human body. That's what would happen. It would petrify. It would calcify. All right? Let's continue.
Because to me, they look like a giant sleeping giant. But there were no such thing as giants, right? What are those? Because they're like fingers. They're like some fingers or some toes. But maybe I'm just tripping, right? Rock formation, a face.
That's a baby.
Exactly. That's exactly what he says. Watch.
Rock formation or a baby face. Maybe I'm just tripping, right? That looking like a reptilian or something. But it damn sure don't look like it's just a mountain. But maybe I'm tripping, right?
What he did, this picture's interesting because he put the picture sideways. So you have to look at it this way and say, oh, yeah, that's a mountain. But then when you look at it this way, you go, oh, no,
you can see
that's
that
a
right
face.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see eyes, ears, nose, mouth,
And the
chin.
mouth. Yeah, it's open a little.
And it's a female. You can see the breasts. There you go.
This one kind of messed up because whatever happened to these giants, and they must wanted to get a hug, kiss off before it was over because that's what it looked like to me. But maybe I'm tripping. That looking like an elephant. That looking like a horse. That looking like a lizard or dinosaur or some shit. And there ain't no damn way you gonna tell me there ain't no alligator or crocodile or some shit.
Now, what's that look like?
That looks like an alligator. A lot of those are here in Florida.
Yep. Guess what? That's a rock formation.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought that was a
Well,
real
that's what-
alligator.
That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe it's a rock formation. I believe it's a petrified alligator, to be
Yes.
honest with you.
And then the rocks that they showed with the two couples like that, it looked like that they died together.
They died together. Exactly. Whatever happened to the world back then froze everybody in place. And we know that it's happened because it's all over the world, not just in some places. Every country on planet Earth has petroglyphs like that. And that's the name of them. They're called petroglyphs from the term petrified. That's where we get the word from. Let us continue.
Look at that. Come on, man. So that's supposed to be a mountain, right? That's not a tree stump. That's a mountain. Alright. Believe what you want, though.
There's a lot of things that you can just explain away.
Okay. Have you ever seen a tree move?
Yeah, I think one time before, but not like this. It was weird.
Okay. There's a name for this. Just watch. There's a couple videos I want you to watch. Just watch. This is amazing.
This is not one of them.
Whoa.
I don't know. Trees are moving. That's what they're saying. Trees are moving.
Tell everybody what you just saw.
It's like somebody underground is like moving the trees like from underneath and just moving up from one side of the side to the
glad
other.
You said that. I'm glad you said that. Because no one has said that they felt like it was coming from under the ground. Okay. There is a phenomenon. And then I'm going to read this to you. There is a name given to walking trees called Socratia exoricea. That's the name. It's a name given to certain trees in the southern states and South America. These trees supposedly walks from shade to light by growing roots in that direction. And that's what happens. What you're seeing literally are areas that have loose soil. Okay? And there's a lot of areas where these trees grow. It's loose soil. And so what happens is these roots, they get uplifted by the tree itself, by the growth. They get pushed by the wind. Sometimes they get knocked over. Sometimes they get pushed and they look like they're walking. But the name given to them is Socratia exoricea.
No matter what time of the season?
It happens to various types of trees during various times of the year.
Wow.
I'm going to go back and let you look at that one again. Take a look, all right? This is Jermaine Ivory. Watch.
That's not a tree stump. That's a mountain. Alright. Believe what you want, though.
There's a lot of things that you can just explain away. This is not one of them.
Okay. Did you see that tree?
Yes.
Okay. It looks the way it does for a reason. Because it's being pushed. Okay? Look at the roots. Here you go. I want you to see.
Oh, okay.
You see?
Yes.
And I want to show that again. I want you to watch. Oh, hold on. How did we get far? Well, we really got pushed back, didn't we?
Alright. Believe what you want, though.
Here you go.
There's a lot of things that you can just explain away.
Watch them. Okay?
This is not one of them.
You see the tree leaning
I don't
and
know.
being pushed.
Trees are moving. That's what they saying. Trees are moving.
Look at the roots. You understand now?
Yes.
Even the roots of the trees. It's funny. They look like feet, don't they?
I know, that's what I was gonna ask. They look like feet.
Yeah.
They can
They
get up and walk
literally they move. They like literally walk. But it's a natural part of the tree's growth. And then what happens is when they get to a better soil, they settle.
Oh, wow.
There's certain trees in certain parts of the world. And they don't have to be in the warm areas. They can be in cold areas too. But I thought you wanted to, because that was a kind of strange thing.
That is very strange.
Yeah, look at it. See it?
Yeah.
This is where your egg shortage went.
Oh, yeah. By the way, folks, if you want to know why you paid $9, $10 a dozen for eggs, your government fucked you up your ass, okay? Let me tell you what they did. They ordered chicken and egg suppliers to destroy millions and millions of eggs, almost 100 million eggs. Why? To artificially drive up the price. We're watching a video right now of your eggs being destroyed, and they're being pushed into a mass grave. Let's watch. And you can't deny this. You're seeing what you're seeing.
Cartons upon cartons and cartons of eggs.
Yep. And I'm going to end with this one for the night. And this is very telling. This has not been retouched. It's not been photoshopped. It is from Israeli television. Okay? That is the Temple Mount in Israel. Okay, you know where that is, Amelia?
No.
You don't? Okay. This is the head. This is what you're looking at is where religion was based from. All religions are based in this area. That's called the Temple Mount. Christianity, Judaism, and Islam all come from the Temple Mount. Okay? All of them come from this area. You're going to see something come down from the sky. All right? I just want you to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I'll show it again.
Oh.
If I was to tell you that one of
Watch it again. We know that's real because it was taken by a news cameraman. And there was no trickery involved. That happened. Nobody knows what it was. Was it a sign from God? Was it something from space? Nobody knows what it was. Was it Jesus coming down to see what was going on? Nobody knows. But it's interesting, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It was like so fast. You had to like look at it really quickly.
And what they say, in the blink of an eye, right?
Yes.
There you go.
If I was to tell you that one of the companies in Washington that attorney set up is a medical coding research company. What if I told you Obamacare was set up for one reason and one reason only, and that's to traffic children?
You hear what he said?
Oh, yes, I believe it. I believe it was set up to traffic children.
There you go.
Obamacare. That's the only reason it was set up. What if I told you that they invested so much money, they built 3 supercomputers in the university in Austin, Texas, that a mother can go to her gynecologist, find out that she's pregnant, and the moment he puts in the code, the child traffickers are following that mother, their pregnancy. They know whether she's going to get an abortion, whether she has a live birth. They follow the kid through the first few years of school. They know if it's got blonde hair, blue eyes, or red hair, green eyes, or whatever. And what if they got blood type, DNA, all your medical records? Obamacare coding system removed doctor-patient confidentiality from the United States and the world. Don't think it just happened here. It happened all over the world in every United Nations country when that was passed. We started it. So it's a 5-digit coding system with over 80,000 codes. We call it medical kidnapping in this country. I have parents that have walked into Phoenix Children's Hospital, and they can be up there with talking to their doctor. Their doctor writes stuff down in his notes. He hands it to the medical coding expert in his office. She takes it. She puts it in the computer. CPS and the Superior Court of Arizona leases space in the basement of the hospital. A red flag pops up on the CPS agent's computer down there. She has every medical record. The home address was.
That is
He's
correct.
absolutely right, and that's all we're going to see that tonight.
That is correct, because I remember that. Yeah, it's like Obamacare has not changed the name of it.
You
It's always
know
been
a little bit
Obamacare.
about that because that's what you do.
Yeah.
That's what you do for a living. And Amelia works in the medical profession.
Yeah, Medicaid
And,
numbers are account numbers. Some of them they
yeah.
have 5 digits. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what do we got coming up tomorrow?
We have Joe Kahn. He's free speech, and we're going to be talking to him about free speech and how it corrupts the government, and how he is a freedom activist, and how he has helped everyone pretty much in the whole United States, around the world, and hopefully he can give us some insight on how we can help others ourselves.
Absolutely. He's a fascinating guy.
Yes.
Joe Kahn is a fascinating guy. I'm actually looking very forward to seeing him tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, joining us is a special in-studio guest, Pastor Steve Kwiatkowski.
Oh, great.
Will be joining us in the because Pastor Steve wants in on this one.
Oh, absolutely.
And the reason he does is because he is now, because he's a preacher, you think he'd be able to say what he wants, right?
No, apparently not.
He's being told what he can and cannot say. Steve don't like that.
No, of course not. A preacher should be able to be told, what he can
Yep.
say, period. He should be able to, yeah.
Absolutely. So, I'll tell you what, it's been a very interesting week. Very, very interesting week. I'll tell you what, it's going to get better. It's good. It's great. It's going to, what's better than great? Fantastic?
Fantastic,
That's
awesome.
next. We're already good. We're already great. We're going to get fantastic. Well, I'll tell you what, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. For Amelia, the Pitbull Chapman, I am the Mad Dog, Big Daddy, Angie D. Just call me Angelo.
Yeah.
I'll see you tomorrow night at 7 p.m. for What's the Buzz Pop. Take care, everybody. Good night. Bye-bye.